Long ago, when the North was ruled by frost and steel, the Viking clan.
Through storm and ice they pressed on, driven by hunger for land and glory.
At last, the frozen coast rose before them, uncharted, untamed.
Their boots touched frozen earth, claiming it as their own.
Here, they would carve a new beginning, with axe and fire.
To live in the North, one must master the forest and its prey.
Through frost and silence, the hunters stalked their quarry.
Their triumph fed the clan, for the hunt was life itself.
Around fire and flame, they gave thanks for prey and steel alike.
In feast and song, the clan bound itself, for brotherhood was the strongest shield. Before axes built walls, the gods were honored in fire and blood.
With the gods appeased, their hands turned to raising walls of timber.
Each log set in place was a stone of their resolve.
Inside, the first fire of the hall was lit, a flame to bind clan and kin.
So began their hall, their hearth, their claim to the North.
Strength was honed in sweat and steel, for the North spared no weakness. The chieftain's eyes judged every blow, every stance.
Again they turned to the forest, where prey and peril shared the same path.
The hunt turned fierce, for the wild of the North was untamed.
Yet the snow bore more than tracks of prey. It carried signs of another clan.
Bjorn returned with tidings heavy as iron. The forest bore the mark of another clan. The chieftain's eyes burned with resolve. The North was theirs to claim, but not unchallenged.
Within the hall, firelight cast long shadows as war was weighed. The clan moved as one, forging shield and wall for the trials ahead. Palisades rose, torches burned brighter, and every warrior braced for the storm to come. Beyond the firelight, shadows stirred. The forest watched with hostile eyes.
The chieftain emerged, drawn by unease heavy on the wind.
Between the trees, figures lingered, watchers cloaked in frost and silence.
The horn of warning shattered the silence, summoning all to arms.
Shields locked, axes ready, they braced for the storm that crept from the dark.
From the forest they came, a war band hungry for blood and land. Ragnar stood firm, his voice like thunder breaking the night.
Shield maidens held the line, their spears braced against the charge to come.
The rival chieftain answered, his axe lifted, his horde roaring back.
Between fire and frost, the first blow waited, a silence before the storm.
The silence broke in a storm of steel as the rival clan charged. Ragnar's roar answered, and the Vikings surged to meet them.
Wood splintered, steel screamed, and men fell in the snow.
Bjorn fought like a storm, shield in one hand, axe in the other.
Freya struck swift and true, her spear piercing through shield and flesh alike. Steel rang, shields splintered, and the snow drank deep of blood.
Freya struck like lightning, each thrust breaking the enemy's will.
Ragnar's fury shattered their ranks, his axe a storm none could withstand.
Fear spread like frost. The rival clan faltered, breaking under the onslaught.
The Vikings roared as one, their victory carved in steel and snow.
But victory bore its cost. Many would not see another dawn.
Ragnar lit the pyre, a flame to carry the fallen to the gods.
Freya's tears glimmered in firelight.
Bjorn stood silent, his fury tempered by sorrow. Thus the dead were given to the fire, their names carried on smoke to the gods.
At dawn, the smoke still lingered, a silent reminder of blood spent.
Within shadow and smoke, the seer whispered of storms yet to come. The gods spoke through ash and flame, warning of blood and frost entwined.
Ragnar listened, torn between triumph and the shadow of prophecy.
Beyond the walls, the storm gathered, a warning written in wind and snow. The forest whispered of unseen foes, shadows watching from beyond the firelight.
Ragnar came to the wall, his eyes keen as the steel he bore.
Freya roused the shield maidens, their spears gleaming, ready for what might come.
Between the trees, shapes emerged, silent, watching, yet holding back. The air froze with silence, two clans staring across snow, a storm held at bay. At last, the watchers withdrew, fading into the forest like ghosts.
Ragnar's gaze lingered, knowing this was no end, only a warning.
Within the hall, firelight cast long shadows as the clan weighed its fate.
From the shadows, the seer spoke, his voice like wind through stone.
He warned of fire and frost entwined, of war yet greater than before.
Ragnar rose, his voice steady as steel. There would be no waiting for fate.
At dawn, the camp came alive with labor, every hand forging strength anew.
The forges blazed, iron singing, as weapons were born anew. On the training ground, steel met wood, warriors sharpening their fury.
Ragnar watched, his clan reborn in fire and ice, ready for the storm to come.
Yet above their triumph, the sky darkened, as if the gods themselves conspired. He spoke of an enemy vast as the sea, of blood to be spilled beyond measure.
Ragnar raised his axe, not in despair, but in defiance.
Thus they stood, unbroken before storm and prophecy, ready for the next saga.
Ragnar stood watch, a lone figure against storm and fate. By his side, Bjorn and Freya stood, blood of battle, bond of kin.
Thus the saga continues, as blood and glory carve the fate of the North.